Welcome, my friend. This is Craig Perra from Sex Afflictions and Porn Addictions, a podcast dedicated to you, helping you create healthy sexuality and a great life. Welcome, everybody. Today, in some of my podcasts, I talk to like everybody, right? Last week, we talked about goals, setting goals for 2017. Check that out. I rambled a little bit on the habit cycle stuff, but you can never get too much habit cycle. But talked and gave you some really good tips for 2017. Today, I want to talk about prostitutes. Today, I want to talk about Backpage. And today, I want to talk about hobbies. Hobbies. So, for my brothers out there who solicit prostitutes, I know, that there is a subculture within this community. They call themselves hobbyists, right? There was a time when I fashioned myself a hobbyist, and the hobby was getting prostitutes and then writing about it. I never wrote about it. I never commented. I was always too afraid to do that, despite the incredible risks that I would take in going into a hotel with a strange person in a shitty part of town with money in my pocket. And hobbyist is the word. And what I want you to think about, just for a second, I want to talk about a couple of things. But when you think about hobbies, now in my 6 key life areas in the Mindful Habit program, it's career, finances, health, hobbies, relationships, and spirituality. And there was a period of time when I was putting Humpty Dumpty together where I said, you know what? I don't know if these guys need to be talking about hobbies. Their lives are falling apart. They are in crisis. And I had thought of deleting that section. And I'm glad I didn't, because if I did, I would have been wrong. I have seen so many instances of men finding their sobriety, sanity, and success. Sobriety, sanity, and success. The first two aren't good enough for long-term sustainable growth. Sobriety, sanity, and success through the discovery of new hobbies. Yoga is mine. Yoga is my life. Yoga and mindfulness. So I get a great hobby because my hobby hits a whole bunch of different areas. It's my spirituality piece. When I go to yoga, that's like church for me. So hobbies. But if you're watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, and you're a man, some women too, but I'm speaking to you brothers out there. Your hobby was maybe pornography, or your hobby was paying for sex with women. That was your hobby. That was my hobby. And I would spend hours a day flipping through the ads, sending a text message, not sending a text message, calling, hanging up, looking for the unicorn, like that one, fishing, I call it. Fishing, that's what I call it, fishing. Because the intention during most of that fishing, most of it, was to throw it back. In other words, not catch anything, not catch and keep. In other words, not go see a prostitute, not pay for sex, not cheat on my wife. It was the escape. Now, if you're part of the mindful habit system, you know that your compulsive behavior is numbing, coping, and escaping, right? That's when you know you have a problem. When you're porn or when you're sex, it's to numb, cope, and escape. And so you want to get away, you want to shift your energy very, very quickly. Well, there's a wonderful hobby that I recommend. But that was just flipping through the ads. I mean, I believe literally, Backpage has been in the news recently. And Backpage, the escort section, has been shut down. has been shut down. So for those of you watching the video, you can see that it now says the escort section is censored. And I just want to acknowledge, I guess, that there are a lot of guys right now who are thinking to themselves, WTF? Fuck, what do I do? What do I do with this time? And I've had so many people call me. Now, January tends to be a very busy month. New Year's resolution, post-holidays, people are looking and have some time, some capacity for massive growth. And there are, of course, the holidays produce crisis as well. But there are, I realize that maybe the additional bump is because Backpage being shut down. I haven't started some of my appointments yet. Actually, today is a couple where I start 2 new guys today, which I'm so beyond excited about, and I got an intensive tomorrow. But I wondered if that's why people are reaching out. I literally think the economy has received millions of productivity hours, thousands of productivity hours, has just gained back because Backpage shut itself down. The hobbyist had his hobby store has closed. No more fishing. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? But before we move on to that, and even if this behavior is behind you, I just want you to reflect on the positive attributes of looking through the escort ads. And that's a way that I like to approach behavior. And you know that if you've been paying attention, you know that it's all of your negative behavior is a function of your unmet needs. So you go someplace else if you want someone to demonize. That's bad, man. You know what you're doing bad. That's wrong. That's blah. Okay, that's mom and dad. I want you to elevate your intellectual horsepower. I want you to elevate your connection to yourself. I want you to play mental, physical, and spiritual chess. And if you instantly and quickly demonize that behavior, you're going to lose an awful lot of important data that's going to help you radically change your life, because all of your negative behavior is a function of your unmet needs. So why are you looking for prostitutes? Why do you spend hours going through that, just flipping? I mean, I hundreds of hours. I know that there were times in my life that I spent on this website, just looking. Maybe I should call, maybe I shouldn't call. Let me save it for later. Open it in a new screen. You all got your routines. I know some of you doing that scanning and flipping, that fishing with porn, just looking, edging. So this is a parallel discussion for you, even if you're not looking for escorts. So there's obviously that time when you're gonna do it, right? You're gonna do it. But I'm talking about, I'm talking about the hours that you spend numbing, coping, and escaping. So what are some of the positive attributes of losing yourself in that world? Like I just articulated one. You lose yourself very quickly. And then the mind is saying there's a remote possibility that I may secure that connection. Maybe I find the one that's going to cause me to pull that trigger, right? So the mind is waiting for that. Addict mind is waiting for that event to happen. But for a lot of you guys, I know you're just flipping through it and really don't have an intention. In fact, maybe you've only seen 1, 2, or 3 escorts in your life. Right? Some of you have seen hundreds. I saw a lot. I want to put that out there. I paid for sex with women a lot. I'm not proud of it. I'm telling you, so you know that you have a brother. You have many brothers who've been where you are at. And I think my hypothesis is if there's any guys out there like me, and I know there are, talk to them every day, there's some guys in panic mode right now. I mean, I vacillated back and forth. Should I start the podcast playing taps? Like it was like, whoa, like it's gone. And my wife asked me, she goes, did you feel bad? Well, no, I'm talking about the complexities of the pot, and we're gonna talk about the, and wait, did you feel bad? And I have to honestly think I had this pang of like, whoa, like maybe a little panic, a little, because I was reminded, and you look back, you think about it, right? Reminded of all the time that I spent wasted, flipping, scanning, fishing, searching, when I had an incredible life to live. See, but it brought me to this place, brothers. It brought me to this place. This place is fucking awesome. My life is incredible. Incredible. And that's what I want you to create for you. So if you demonize this behavior, let me come back to that point. I'm all over the place, but thank you for listening, because this is an important topic and some of you are struggling. So what are the positive attributes? Well, it helps you escape. Gives you a break. You don't think about anything else for a period of time, right? You don't think about anything else. It just, you lose yourself. Just like when you go fishing. Well, guess what? You need to find a hobby. You need one. You need to find a hobby. If you do not, it is my belief that you will not achieve long-term success in keeping the addiction at bay. It's critical. Why? Because to break a habit, you have to make a habit. And this behavior is essentially a hobby. Some of you guys know more about porn than the producers who make it. You know more about the actresses and their lives than the actresses may know themselves. You know more about the different escorts in your area, how much they charge, what they do, GFE, RBGFE. I'm going to leave the abbreviations there, but you know what I'm talking about. It's a hobby. That's what it is. It has the attributes of a hobby, certainly. You can't argue with me there. But it's a hobby. So since all of your negative behavior is a function of your unmet needs, then you have to know, you have to learn what unmet needs that behavior was meeting for you. Made you feel special when they texted you back, probably. So much of my men who are seeing prostitutes, it isn't the sex, that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. But it is the significance that they're looking for. Significance is by far the overwhelming driver. The need for significance is the overwhelming driver for every man that I work with that sees prostitutes, including yours truly. Significance. I told you the story about the beer, right? When I walked into the room and there were 2 Bud Kingers on the table. There's 2 Bud Kingers on the table. Here's a great example, an illustration of unmet needs. There's 2 beers on the table. And I'd seen this prostitute before, but I know they don't drink with their customers, so this was kind of an aberration. There's beer here. I wonder why there's beer here. I should ask her why there's beer. I wonder what, did she get it from me? It must be from someone else. Maybe she has it left over. And my mind is racing until I finally asked a question. Oh, what's this for? She goes, oh, I got it for you. Oh, God, guys, I can't tell this story without holding my heart. I felt so significant, so special, so different than the other people that she's seen. Those other guys, you know, they're not, other fucking perverts. That's not me. I'm not like one of them. I felt special. I felt significant. I felt significant. So I learned when I started to examine my behavior as a hobby and realizing all the positive attributes that that behavior was meeting in my life, that forced me to look at my behavior in a very, very different way. And I want you to look at your behavior from a very different way. It's easy to get caught and demonized. Yeah, everyone rallies against the industry. Everybody, porn is evil. That happens, okay? And I did that demonization too. And there are certainly attributes of the industry that are evil. But how's that helping me? How's that helping me? What helped me was when I started to examine this behavior from a positive perspective. And that's what I want you to do, because some of you right now are lost and some of you right now are lonely. Backpage.com shuts down adult services ad after relentless pressure from authorities, says the cover of the Washington Post. And, I thought about talking about the First Amendment issues, right? Because I do not believe in the banning of pornography. I do not want to live in a government that has that power. I'm a staunch defender and believer in the First Amendment. It's first for a reason. And I've litigated back in my old lawyer days, First Amendment cases. And I learned a lot about how important it is in our society and how important it is to limit government's power on their ability to suppress words that I'm speaking to you right now. So if this was an article about pornography being banned, I would not be in favor of it at all. But here's the difference here is that the services that were being advertised in Backpage were illegal in those states, in every state. In every state. So while there is a First Amendment issue there, this is like not screaming fire, in a theater. So anyway, I don't want to talk anymore about the constitutional ramifications, but I did want to share with you my opinion on, people ask me all the time, do you want porn banned? And the answer is no. The answer is no. No, I do not. I do not want to live in a world where our government can do that. That frightens me. That frightens me. There are fine lines. Accepting the negative is a component of a free society. Blah, throw all that away. Some of you guys are bored stiff. No pun intended. So you need to find a hobby. You need to find a hobby. And as you're looking for a hobby, I want you to think about the behavior from a positive perspective. I want you to look at it from a positive place, so you can ask yourself, what are the positive attributes of this behavior, so I can identify them. What are my unmet needs? What needs are being met by this behavior? So then I can do something about it. Then I can do something about it. So important, because to break a habit, you have to make a habit. Your success in not doing the thing is a function of you doing something else. So for all of you men out there who are reaching for that phone, getting ready to start your fishing trip for escorts, I want you to stop. I want you to take 10 deep breaths and reflect on what you could be doing instead that's going to make your life better. That's going to help you and empower you to be the best version of you. Because I know when I was in that place, I wasn't the best version of me. I was a pretty crappy version of me. A liar, a cheater, a lawbreaker, right? There's risk in that behavior. Please don't be one of these men who calls me after they've gotten busted. Don't. That is makes things so much more complicated and expensive. Because now you're managing the criminal side, managing the reputation, you're managing the crisis. And that's expensive. And it may cost some of you your jobs. That's a reality. So I don't want that to happen to you. Life is way too short to suck. Right? This behavior isn't making your life better. It's not doing anything for you. I want you to find something else. I want you to find a hobby. So think about what you could do on a regular basis that is still going to meet some of those needs. Because if you think you're going to stop that behavior, exciting, titillating, erotic, fun, scary, all the emotions, right, that come up in there, and you're going to just, let me work harder. All of your negative behavior is a function of your unmet needs. I want you to embrace your power of choice. So there's no more fishing on Backpage, brothers. Those days are over. And there's other sites, you know that, I know that. But use this as an opportunity to break that habit. Use this as an opportunity to do something else with your life and embrace all the beauty that life has to offer. It's there, brothers. I want you to take it. So find a hobby. Memento mori. Remember, you are going to die. I want you to embrace your power of choice and create a great life. Signing off. Catch you next week, my friends.